I mean, that's really not a hard concept to understand. Once you make it personal, this is very easy. You don't get to come into my house, tear things up, and then throw the Constitution in my face and go, aha, na 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 boo boo. I can do whatever I want to do. I know my rights. I know my rights. I know my rights. That it doesn't work like that, and it shouldn't work like that. And clearly, it doesn't. What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today, I have to take a moment to discuss this story here that I see quite a few people are talking about, right? Marco Rubio says he's revoked at least 300 student visas from campus agitators looking every day for these lunatics. That's a direct quote from Marco Rubio. Now, we're going to get into the actual video in which he was in a press conference discussing this. But before we go over the video, I do want to read a little bit through this article first, because, I stand with Rubio on this, and I don't really see what the issue is with what he's doing. And it's a very easy argument to win against people, and I'll explain how this is a very easy argument to win when you're speaking with people that disagree with what Rubio is doing, right? But first, let's get into what this article states, and it reads as such. Secretary of State Marco Rubio revealed Thursday that he's revoked the visas of at least 300 foreign students, warning that if you come to the U.S. to create a ruckus, you'll be kicked out. It might be more than 300 at this point, Rubio told reporters at a press conference in Guyana when asked about the number of overseas scholars who had visas pulled under the Trump administration. Rubio, 53, previously warned that the U.S. will have zero tolerance for foreign agitators, including international students who support terrorist organizations or threaten national security. The State Department's so-called catch and revoke. Now, can we stop right there? I just want to take a moment to stop right there because the pettiness of the Trump administration is hilarious. We have catch and revoke, which is a play on catch and release from the Biden administration. And then another little petty kind of switcheroo that they pulled was Biden's CBP1 app, which was the app that was used to funnel in illegal immigrants through an app versus having them come across the border. Obviously, Trump dismantled the app and then they rebranded it as CBP Home. So now you can use this app to self-deport out of the country. So the pettiness of this administration is hilarious to me. Hilarious. CBP 1, CBP Home, catch and release. Now it's catch and revoke. But I digress. My apologies. Let's get back into the article. The department's so-called catch and revoke effort has reportedly involved the use of AI tools to scan social media accounts or foreign student visa holders and assesses whether they back U.S. designated terror groups such as Hamas. The Trump administration has targeted purported instigators of last year's anti-Israel demonstrations at Columbia University, which saw protesters harass Jewish students and barricade themselves inside of Hamilton Hall, resulting into several arrests. And as we bring this article to a close, Rubio argued Thursday that it would be stupid for any country in the world to welcome people into their country that are going to go to their universities to start a riot, take over a library, and harass people. Now, what I want to do is get into the actual video clip of Marco Rubio at this press conference. So let's take a moment to check this out.
A Turkish student in Boston was detained and handcuffed on the street by plainclothes agents. A year ago, she wrote an opinion piece about the Gaza war. Could you help us understand what the specific action she took led to her visa being revoked?
Yeah,
and what was your State Department's role in that process?
We revoked her visa. It's an F1 visa, I believe. We revoked it, and here's why. And I'll say it again. I said it everywhere. Let me be abundantly clear, okay? If you go apply for a visa right now, anywhere in the world, let me just send this message out. If you apply for a visa to enter the United States and be a student, and you tell us that the reason why you're coming to the United States is not just because you want to write op-eds, but because you want to participate in movements that are involved in doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus, we're not going to give you a visa. If you lie to us and get a visa and then enter the United States and with that visa participate in that sort of activity, we're going to take away your visa. And once you've lost your visa, you're no longer legally in the United States, and we have a right, like every country in the world has a right, to remove you from our country. So it's just that simple. I think it's crazy. I think it's stupid for any country in the world to welcome people into their country that are going to go to your universities as visitors. They're visitors. And say, I'm going to your universities to start a riot. I'm going to your universities to take over a library and harass people. I don't care what movement you're involved in. Why would any country in the world allow people to come and disrupt? Now, we gave you a visa to come and study and get a degree, not to become a social activist that tears up our university campuses. And if we've given you a visa and then you decide to do that, we're going to take it away. I encourage every country to do that, by the way, because I think it's crazy to invite students into your country that are coming onto your campus and destabilizing it. We're just not going to have it. So we'll revoke your visa, and once your visa is revoked, you're illegally in the country and you have to leave. Every country in the world has a right to decide who comes in as a visitor and who doesn't. If you invite me into your home because you say, I want to come to your house for dinner, and I go to your house and I start putting mud on your couch and spray painting your kitchen, I bet you're going to kick me out. Well, we're going to do the same thing if you come into the United States as a visitor and create a ruckus for us. We don't want it. We don't want it in our country. Go back and do it in your country. But you're not going to do it in our country.
I don't even understand why this is a hard concept for people to wrap their minds around. It's really mind-blowing that this is even an argument, and that, content has to be made around this to get people to understand that there isn't anything fundamentally wrong with what's going on here and what he's saying. And this argument is an easy argument to have once you make it personal, as Marco Rubio did. If you ask to come into my home for the purposes of using my resources in my house to benefit yourself. Once again, TD, can I use the resources in your home to benefit me and to better my life? Sure, you can come into my home. If you come into my home because I allowed you in so that you can better yourself, and then you start running around my home, destroying things, kicking up dust, and all of a sudden wanting to have some sort of an opinion on how I treat my wife, how I treat my son, how I treat the cat. I don't like how you're treating your neighbors. I don't like how you treat the woman at the cashier at the corner store, and start kicking up dust, making protests, destroying things in my home, putting mud on my couch, flipping tables over, turning the people in my home against me. I have the right to kick you out of my home because I didn't invite you in my home to kick up dust. You asked if you can come into my house so that you can utilize my resources so that it to benefit you yourself, so that you can better your life. And I was kind enough, nice enough, and generous enough to have enough sympathy and empathy on you to say, you know what? I see that in your home, you don't have the things that you need to better your life, so you can use my resources. If you come into my house to use my resources to better your life, then essentially mind your business and use those resources to better your life. But if you're coming here to kick up dust, flip tables over, and turn the people in my house against me, well, then you can go do that at your house. As a matter of fact, you're not welcome here anymore. I mean, that's really not a hard concept to understand. Once you make it personal, this is very easy. You don't get to come into my house, tear things up, and then throw the Constitution in my face and go, aha, na 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 boo boo. I can do whatever I want to do. I know my rights. I know my rights. I know my rights. That it doesn't work like that, and it shouldn't work like that. And clearly, it doesn't, because coming in as a student with a student visa or coming into my home as a guest, you don't get to kick up dust and say, I know my rights. Ha ha ha, and then thumb your nose at me. No, it's time for you to leave. So, with all that being said, that does it for today's news. I don't see what the issue is with this. I really don't see what the issue is with this. And people that have an issue with this, as far as I'm concerned, they're being disingenuous. Because if you have an issue with this, okay, well, let me come into your home and I'm going to start kicking up dust. I'm going to flip tables over. I'm going to put dirt on your couch. I'm going to put dirt all over the carpet. I'm going to turn everybody in your house against you. And let's see how you like it. And let's see how long you'll tolerate me being in your house doing this until you kick me out. And I'll just leave it at that. Very simple argument. This is very common sense. With all that being said, that does it for today's news. So thank you all for joining me today. Please Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And don't forget to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram's in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all.